Oh, good. Oh, gosh. You all right? Do you need time or you all right?
I'm good. I'm
Okay.
good. There we go. Good. There we go. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jacob Hackett. Uh, Joining me tonight is she's our last guest for tonight's broadcast. It's always a pleasure to have her on. She's been my co-host for the past two telethons. She sang at the Field of Dreams for at least the last decade. She was a proud member of she was our Miss New Jersey in 2021, and she's here to talk about her experiences with Faces for Autism. Joining me today is feature reporter from PHL 17 and Miss New Jersey, as I said, Alyssa Sullivan. Alyssa,
Hi.
thank you for joining me tonight.
Thank you for having me. I'm grateful to be back and always love getting to be a part of this with you and all the good that you're doing.
Thank you very much. So, Alyssa, my first question, tell us well, you come from both backgrounds of, you've been a part of Faces. You and your mom did My Precious Gem. Tell us a little bit about, how you heard about us, how you started with both organizations, but like I said, you come from both areas.
Yes, so I would say my love and my passion for wanting to help the special needs community was started when I was young. My mom was a special needs teacher. And so she would always let me come into her classroom when I was done school at the end of the day and help the kids and watch her help them as she was a teacher. And it was just an amazing experience. And I always didn't understand why people didn't want to support that community more and give them more recesses, more resources, and more access to the things that anyone else would have. And so I had a lot of great friends that I grew up with in the special needs community and people who had autism and still do, like my friend Caitlin Manson, who we danced together from the time we were 2, graduated high school together. And it was people like her that we created the Precious Gem mentoring program for. And so my mom and I sort of started that with some other people in at the time, it was called a pageant organization. And we were able to put together the mentoring program for all of these young women where essentially they got to feel like a princess for the day and they got to go through all of the parts of the competition as we did at the time when we were competing. And it was just a magnificent experience. And because of COVID, things have stopped and it's been on hold the past couple of years, but it's just been such a rewarding experience that we hope to be able to get back to logistically soon. And of course, my connection to Faces for Autism, came through that, through people like Caitlin, through you, Jacob, and just through you guys bringing me to it and realizing that there were a lot of people that I already knew that were a part of the community. And again, I think, you have to always use your voice for good. And, while obviously I'm not Miss New Jersey anymore, my experiences throughout that year and the connections that I made with people like you and these organizations are really lifelong for me and just so important to me.
Yeah, and not only that, Elizabeth, but the friendships you've created over time, because, like you said, you were friends with Caitlin from the time you were 2, and now you're both. Um, she's working very hard in college, which is wonderful what she's trying to accomplish. But you see, it's the friendships like the ones you and I have had, being involved in entertainment and then carrying it over to things like tonight, it becomes full circle.
Absolutely. I agree. And I think, like you said, you and I met just at one of the shows for Dave Damiani at Dante Hall. And obviously we had seen each other, through social media and then met there. And then you make connections and you meet people and it unlocks this whole different world of possibility. And when you band together and, what you can do, which is, why I'm always so grateful to talk with you because you give so much to people in the community. And like you said with Caitlin, she is someone who has autism, yet wants so much and is so passionate to help other people with autism and to be an aid to students with autism and, people who have special needs. So she has a great heart, as do you. And it just brings me a lot of happiness and, makes me very proud of you both that you're willing to give back so much.
Now, and we thank you for that. Next question. If you have one particular memory from both organizations, please share with me if you have a memory from both organizations that would stand out.
So I would say with the Precious Gem mentoring program, it had to be, there were a lot of really great memories as we did it for multiple years, but I would say some of my most profound were the first year that we did it, we had a girl get so excited at the end when the crown was placed on her head, and she cried out, to her dad, and she screamed and she said, "Dad, I feel so pretty right now." And it just brought tears to my eyes, and there are some people who don't have children, some people who don't have children with special needs, just by word of mouth had heard about the program and who have since heard about it and are like, "Oh my gosh, I was there, or I saw it, or I've heard about it. It was so profound and beautiful." And there was a girl who I was able to go up, she had forgot the words to The Little Mermaid, the song from that. And I love, that movie so much. And, she was worried and she had forgot the words. And so I was able to run up behind her and help her and sing together. And it's just those moments that just like tug on your heartstring. And, that's why you do it and why we put in the hours and so much work that we do to promote what we do. So in terms of Faces for Autism, even before I was Miss New Jersey, I had come out and I believe I covered a story with Isabel for Faces for Autism, which was really my beginning with it. So that was definitely a profound memory for me because that was before I'd even got involved with the organization in another sense or with you. I don't even know that we had necessarily met fully at that point. So that was a big moment for me to be able to cover that. And, as a journalist, you always get so much opportunity in the stories that you cover and what you're able to bring light to. And to me as a journalist, it's always been really important to me to, to highlight stories like that and people in the community who are doing good. And so that was a really profound moment for me and obviously has carried through and, to doing things like this.
Yeah. And and I've heard that about the Precious Gem program. It's just wonderful. And I remember I was sitting there talking to your mother and you at Dante Hall, and you said, "We need you as host of the program." I was all set to go. And then, ba-boom, COVID hit.
I know.
But I will come back. Call me, I'll come back, I'll do it. No questions asked. But one memory that stands out for me, doing all what we've done together was after COVID, I was not at the field for a while because of COVID. And the day you came to the field and we did that presentation, that will be a memory that will forever hold in my heart and yours.
Absolutely. That was a huge memory in terms of Field of Dreams. That was a highlight of my year as Miss New Jersey and how much you worked to make that happen. And it was a beautiful moment and something that will stick with me forever and in our friendship. So, I'm always eternally grateful to you for that. And as you said, I think COVID put a lot on hold for us in our lives, but I think it taught us a lot of lessons. I think COVID interrupted a lot. I was not a high school, I was a college senior at the time. So my graduation, was postponed. So many things in life were changed. And at the end of the day, we just learned the value and the beauty of, getting to wake up and just, live another day and make the most of it. So I think we lost a lot of things, but I think we gained a lot of lessons. And now we just sort of navigate into that, unknown of trying to bring back some of the things that we had before, so hopefully that will eventually bring back the Precious Gem for us.
Yeah, that's only my hope. For you, for everybody that is involved in that program. Because like I said, it's a wonderful program. Um, my last question, Alyssa, if you could give anyone any advice as to why they should join these wonderful programs, what would you say?
I would say that inspiration is obviously what leads us to these things. You know, maybe you have a child who has a disability, who has special needs. Maybe you have a child who is autistic. Maybe you know someone. But even if you don't, this is all about wanting your life and what you give back to be bigger than who you are. I mean, waking up and being able to know that you're making a difference in the community, that you're helping other people, you're making such a difference, and that's always going to stay with you. You know, we don't, as you know, we don't do what we do for the fame or for the applause from people. It's just to help and to see the difference that that makes, and nothing beats the smile, you know, on a kid's face or on your face or on Caitlin's face or, you know, whoever it may be, you know, seeing that you're helping people and that you're making a difference. And, you know, I would do that a million times over. So I would encourage people, you know, it's a great feeling to give back, but it's also just a beautiful reward that can't even be tangible in a sense, to see the way that you can just help make a difference in people's lives. And I think the more we talk about it, the more we do interviews like this, the more we bring awareness to these organizations, the more we're going to see a difference. So I appreciate you having me, and you know, I'll always continue to promote and be a part of these things.
And I thank you for that. Uh, Friends, Alyssa has been a part of these organizations almost since their institutions. Uh, Please continue to donate. These organizations have done monumental things over the last 20 years. They've given money to organizations. They've made sure that events that are put on year after year after year can go on. Without people such as Isabel Mosca, my family, there's nothing. So I think before you go tonight, give them a round of applause, because they they are the reason why these programs exist. I will.